What is that? Fat. That is fat. Let me ask you, the other professors, do they sit here like I do, like this?
I think the other professor, the Professor Bala, I think they're still on like the blood.
Yeah.
No. The thing is that they changed the order of the chapters.
Oh, because.
Yeah, because Dr. Bala, he changes, he plays with the order of the chapters, and so does Dr. Herman.
He was in here and he had something written down in the order, and I was like, what the hell?
It was a car.
Yeah, and a house. And then it was talking about the endocrine system.
Yeah.
And then also it was talking about blood. So I was like, what the hell?
He does go out of order though, he's my friend.
Les, ojalá que cheddar.
Sodium, fat, trans.
Huge.
Hey, nutrition.
Go.
Nutrition.
That was last.
That was last class.
That was last class.
So anyway,
Green stuff, 50%.
green stuff, that's what I'm having for dinner tonight, and that's what I had last night. Now, now the secondary, so the active transport, primary active transport, and then you're gonna have secondary active transport. The secondary active transport, you're gonna have symporters when you have two substances that are pulled by the same pump on the same direction. And then you have the anti-transport when you have one going one way and the other one going the opposite way. So let me give you the examples right now. Where's the thing? Right there. So this is the symporter where you're gonna have sodium and glucose going from the PP into the cell and from the cell out to go into the capillary. And then you have the anti-transporter where you have sodium going in, hydrogen going out. You see? Really cute. Is that good?
What are those?
Jalapeno cheddar.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I said before, the water is always going to follow the solutes. However, when you are trying to control the homeostasis of your water volume, you're going to secrete the antidiuretic hormone. And then that diuretic hormone is going to retain more water. And this is the aquaporins are protein permeable to water and blah, 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 blah. So, you also have simple diffusion. You know, some of this stuff also happens through simple diffusion. Because if you remember, from an area of high concentration to low concentration, if your patient has hypokalemia, for example, meaning there is low concentration of potassium here, high concentration of potassium, so happily ever after it goes back. And the same thing with the calcium, the magnesium, the urea, all of that stuff is going to go back. The water, exactly the same business, osmosis. Although remember that the water is always going to be following these fellas. The loop of Henle. Now, the loop of Henle is super, super interesting. Let me show you where the interesting part becomes interesting. Where is it? Yeah, we're gonna get into the loop of Henle because I have to. That's the nephron loop. Relatively impermeable to water, especially in the ascending limb. Little water reabsorption. I'm gonna tell you the exact function of the loop of Henle now when I show you the graphic. And then you have the distal convoluted tubule where you have this is where the PTH is gonna do the business of reabsorption of calcium whenever you have hypocalcemia. Now here you have certain different type of cells, intercalated cells, and blah blah blah. Who cares? Now, remember, your hypothalamus has osmoreceptors. The osmoreceptors are going to sense that the blood is too salty, and then you're going to secrete the hormone into the posterior pituitary, the neurohypophysis, and then you're going to release it, and then it's going to go to your it goes to the distal convoluted tube, and it goes to the collecting duct, and it retains water. Remember also that this is also going to trigger the thirst. And you're gonna, cheers. Actually, I have a bigger one at Kaiser. It's like this big, humongous. They had it on sale at Walmart, so I just have to buy it. Who cares? So, the hormonal regulation of the tubular absorption and secretion. Angiotensin II, when you have low blood pressure, remember that the angiotensin II and what was the other one? The aldosterone. What is the aldosterone going to do with the potassium? Remember, you're dehydrated, right? Now, remember that you have 145 milliosmoles of sodium in the blood and only 5 of potassium. So which one has a narrower homeostatic business? The potassium. So you have a patient who's dehydrated. You have now an excess because of the dehydration. You lost all this water. The little bit of water that's left has all this sodium and all of this potassium. Now this hyperkalemia that you have now can fry your heart. So what is your kidney gonna do? The aldosterone secreted by your adrenal cortex is gonna go and tell this guy, okay, we're dehydrated, so we're gonna retain sodium, so we're able to retain some water, but at the same time, let's get rid of some of that potassium to make sure we don't have a heart attack, cardiac arrest, or any of that stuff. Cool? Angiotensin II, I told you that it's going to shut down the whole thing, and it's going to increase the reabsorption of sodium along with the water, trying to save you from hypovolemia. And the diuretic hormone, the same thing. The adrenal raise it and parathyroid hormone to increase the reabsorption of calcium. Tell you about that. Now, the urine business, it varies depending on your level of hydration. Again, the time of the day, how much water have you been drinking through the day? So, it varies. Homeostasis requires maintenance of fluid volumes within specific limits, and the urine concentrations varies with the ADH. And that's why, in the morning, when you get up, since you haven't had anything to eat in 7 hours, 8 hours, you are pretty much dehydrated. You pee a lot, but the urine is very concentrated. I mean, unless you're me, because since I have to get up in the morning, I get up like around 5 or 4 to pee, and then when I get up at 7 or at 5, pee a little bit. The high intake of fluid results in a diluted urine and high volume, and the low intake results in concentrated urine and low volume. So, where does this concentration of the urine happens? At the loop of Henle, here. So, this is the case for the diluted urine. Now, let me ask you, my friends who are medical assistants or CNAs, whatever you are, when you do the dipstick of the urine, what is the indicator of either diluted urine or concentrated urine? No. When you do the dipstick, of course, the color is one indicator. But on the dipstick, which one is the indicator? The specific gravity, which is a measure of concentration of the urine. So, this is a guy who's drinking a lot of water. What is the business of the loop of Henle? The loop of Henle is super, super cool because you're going to have the urine coming from the proximal tubule. it's gonna come down. And look at the concentration, 300, when it goes into the loop. Comes here, but you see that the concentration starts to rise. Why would that be? Because as the urine starts to go and then it reaches a maximum concentration level at the end of the U. As the urine starts to go up, then on this level, the ions, they start to move into the interstitium in this area here. So these ions here in the interstitium, they're gonna pull the water out this way. And that's why, by the time it gets here, it's more concentrated. Then it starts going up, it loses the ions this way, and by the end of the whole process, you end up with super diluted urine, 65 milliosmoles. Very, very diluted. And that's somebody who drinks a lot of water.
So at the beginning, they're going to take out the water and then just put it in again.
Yeah, you put it back in.
It comes back in when
Always.
it goes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, as you start to go up, you throw in more water, and that's why it started getting more diluted. And by the time you pee, you get only 65 milliosmoles. Now, on the other hand, you have this guy. This is a patient who's dehydrated. Look at that number, 1200. And 1200 here at the end. You see?
How would that look? Like, how would that pee look?
Like-
Super yellow?
Like amber.
Like super dark
Dark.
urine. It will look almost like that piece of furniture there. You know? Super dark.
That's what it sounds.
And those are going to be, patients with either oliguria or anuria. What is oligo?
Sorry?
Huh?
Like what?
Oligo. What is that term? I'm sorry? Few, exactly. Scanned. And anuria. What is anuria?
No.
Without, exactly. And then you have polyuria. Exactly. And then in 30 years from now, ratio is going to have nocturia.
Pee at night.
Yeah, nice.
At night, exactly. Why is it going to have nocturia?
It's TVF.
The prostate is going to get.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Man, I have bad news for you. It's going to happen to you, to Perez, to Trujillo, to Stockhausen. My friend over there, the boy. There's no more guys here. Oh, me.
What is the real function of the
Prostate.
Prostate.
Makes your life miserable.
yeah? What,
No, it actually is part. That's the next unit.
Okay.
It's in the business of making semen.
I don't need that. Just
Can you
don't need
remove
what?
it?
Semen.
Of course, you need semen
For what?
because you have to feed the sperm.
I don't
Can
know
you
how
remove
kids
the
are-
prostate?
Yes, of
And
course.
you'd be fine, or would you need
Yeah, but then you can have issues with the Stevies. Although now they have Viagra, so
No, I need
it's
it.
not a big deal. We're gonna come to the prostate in the next unit. Don't worry, the prostate is coming. And there's a video. I'm gonna post this video. There's a couple of videos I've been wanting to post on so you can watch it on your own. About from this lady. This lady teaches anatomy up north in Ohio, I think it is, and she's freaking hilarious. And she explained why evolution works and how evolution messed up the whole entire human body. You know, she just lists a bunch of examples of how fucked up the human body is because of evolution. Now, same business. You started with the 300, but guess what? You're dehydrated, so you're gonna keep pushing the sodium, the ions into this area here, into the interstitium here. You're gonna get down to up to 1200. Start going up. It gets a little bit more diluted, but not that much. You're dehydrated, so you're trying to retain as much water as possible at all levels of the nephron. So at the end, you keep. Here you have the effect of antidiuretic hormone. You have the effect of aldosterone. By the end, after the effect of all those guys on those hormones and those ions, you're gonna be a bunch of sodium with a little bit of water.
What's the other one? The black one?
This one,
Yeah.
that's a blood vessel.
It's supposed to be red.
It's red. In the
It's red.
Oh,
The
I
thing is
haven't
that,
seen it.
yeah, the thing is that the projector is crazy. Now, is this the last?
No, you still have a lot.
Yeah, but I mean for today.
Oh.
Sure.
Because I have to leave it where I left to go to class.
Oh.
Now, you go to a doctor and you give them a urine sample. The first thing they do is a little dipstick thing. In the dipstick, you see a bunch of very good indicators of different things. Number one, are you supposed to be your albumin?
No.
No. So what is albuminuria? Indication of what?
Albumin in the urine.
Yes, I know. That's kidney failure, exactly. Remember, those pedocytes at the surrounding the capillaries inside the capsule, they're supposed to have a negative charge. And the albumin has a negative charge and they repel each other. You lose the pedocytes, or podocytes, I don't remember now, podocytes, yeah. You lose the podocytes because of the disease,
There's no negative.
and there's no negative charge, and you just pee away your albumin. And that's what we call albuminuria, or you can have hyperalbuminuria. And that's really bad, because then what's going to happen to your patient? Whap! Edema. Now, who gets glucose in the urine and ketone bodies in the urine? People with diabetes. Now, ketone bodies is going to be diabetes type what? 1. Exactly. And we talked about that the other day on the other chapter. Didn't we talk about the ketone bodies and all that stuff? I did mention that. I know. I recorded the class. Yeah, ketoacidosis. Now, are you supposed to have red blood cells in your urine? Who's going to get red blood cells in the urine? Huh? That's right.
I don't know. Just kidding, I don't know.
You said females.
Yes.
Well, I'm not talking about urine mixed with
Okay.
how you call it, with menstruation. No. I'm talking about regular, just pee.
Is it like trauma or something?
The what?
Trauma?
Yes. So, the very easy, just trauma. We call that hematuria. You're not supposed to have hematuria. Now, you can have a little bit of red blood cells that you need to see them under a microscope or detect them with a thing. Or you can have a shitload of hematuria, like somebody that they beat the crap of him and messed up his penis and messed up the urethra, or they put tried to put a Foley catheter and they broke the urethra. Now that's going to be frank hematuria, that we have a bunch of urine, of blood that you can see it. Now, when it's only a little bit, hold on, I see you, I'll be right there. When it's only a little bit, is indication that the bleeding is happening more in the kidney. So what's gonna cause bleeding of the kidney, of the thing? Something rubbing against something made out of calcium that is rubbing against the
Kidney stones?
kidney stone. Oh, listen to this name, nephrolithiasis.
Lead is one of it.
So lithos means stone. Remember the Paleolithico and the Neolithico from the history class? I know you all took history.
No.
Yeah, there's
I
so
didn't
many.
pay
Yeah.
attention.
What?
I didn't pay attention.
I know. I don't know why I like that class so much. Such an interesting class. Now, nephrolithiasis is gonna be a cause of hematuria. Now,
Wait, before we go.
I'm sorry, go.
So I have a story. When I used to work in the hospital, there was a patient that we had a catheter in. And it was a guy. When his like penis was really, really swollen. But
The
then
what?
when his penis was really swollen. But then when we like took off his blankets, he had like the worst blood clots, like big blood clots coming out. Even though the catheter was in, it was the worst thing ever. It was the worst thing ever. We ended up having to take him. We ended up having to met call him out of the unit because he started like bleeding like from his nose and like I didn't. But
I'll tell you what they did to him. They were doing the folic acid then.
But it was actually like days after they put the catheter in. Like,
Oh,
he
wait
had
till we
the
get to the
catheter in.
prostate. You're gonna have a blast. Because they put a freaking tube this thick inside your penis. Oh, ladies, don't worry, that's
Catheter's
nothing.
like this.
That's not.
The first one saw catheter go out, like sit down for a second. It's like, God.
Oh, no, this one is thicker than the folic catheter. Yeah, they messed up this guy urethra with.
But I think it was already messed up because they had to use a thicker catheter because he had had catheters put in like so many times.
Right. But with that last time they did it, they didn't do it right.
Maybe
The thing is that-
you know the little water balloon? Could that have been that they did it in the actual urethra instead of inside? You know you have to wait until
Right,
it's
that
inside.
he has to blow inside
Yeah,
the bladder.
Right. Maybe they did it outside,
Probably.
like in the actual urethra.
But the thing is that wouldn't really traumatize anything. I'm more tend to think that when they were inserting the catheter, now, why do you ladies get more UTIs than we guys?
It's bacteria.
Because the urethra is this big. Now, us guys, you know, it varies the size of urethra. This big, this big, this big, extra large, magnum, you know. I'm not very fortunate, although I never had any complaints. Now, let's talk about the UTIs. UTIs, again, are very common in women. Now, you gotta treat the UTI, because if you don't treat the UTI, and this is the same thing for UTIs, the same thing for vaginal infections. If you don't treat the infection, what's gonna happen to the infection? Infection is gonna go up. So in this case, where is the infection gonna go? To the kidney. And you're gonna go with, what is it called? Pyelonephrosis or something like that. Super painful. Scary. Now, what is the first, when you do the dipstick, what is the sign of infection?
Smell those.
You see that you have blood here, red blood cells. What's missing there? That's gonna tell you that there's an infection there. White blood cells, exactly. White blood cells. Because your immune system is trying to fight this thing. What else are you gonna find? The E. coli is the causative agent of like 99.999% of all the UTIs. E. coli is super smart little bug. And it's gonna start making these substances, nitrates, to try to raise the pH of the urine. Some stupid retarded book, I think it's this one or the other one I use at Kaiser, say that the pH of the urine is anywhere between 4 and 7, something retarded like that. No, the pH of the urine has to be low, it has to be acidic, because it's a defense mechanism against the E. coli. Now, what is the E. coli gonna do? E. coli goes inside the urethra, goes inside the bladder, it produces the nitrates, and nitrates raise the pH, and they then have an orgy, and they make a shitload of babies. You see? Because if you raise the pH, they're able to thrive and have a party. Yeah. Now, what else is good here? The blood work business. The creatinine, again, I told you that you're supposed to get rid of all the creatinine you produce. It's a very toxic metabolite. And under normal circumstances, your creatinine level in your CMP is going to be close to 0. As the creatinine level starts to build up, that's a good indicator of kidney disease. The same thing with the BUN and the urea. They're supposed to be on the lower side. As they build up, it's because we're in trouble. Isn't that nice?
What is BON?
You look blood, urea, nitrogen. There you go. Nothing. I don't ever remember what it is. That's right. Yes, sir.
Is the creatinine a byproduct of ATP breakdown on the muscles?
Yeah, from the muscles, from muscle doing whatever they're supposed to do. They produce the creatinine, and then you're supposed to get rid of the creatinine. I had a CT scan done in December because, I went to Kaiser, I'm working at Kaiser and some girl tells me, oh, we need people to practice the sonogram. Okay, sure, why not? So I go have a sonogram, I do the sonogram, and they found something on my kidney. They tell me, oh, you have to go to a urologist. I found the urologist. The best part was the first visit when he took the finger off my butt. Then the second one was the visit where they did the CT scan. I asked them for a copy of the CT scan, and then I completely forgot about go pick it up because I wanted to include that in the presentation. And it turns out that all I had on my right kidney was a cyst, just a little mass filled with fluid, and he had a kidney stone, a tiny kidney stone on the pelvis. No big deal. And
What did they do with that cyst? Did they have to rupture it or did it rupture?
nothing.
Just leave it.
It's still there. Now, before they did the CT scan, they sent me to the lab to check the creatinine levels, check my kidney function. My kidney function is always good. I don't have any kidney issues. So, any questions about any of these mumbo jumbo so far? We're cool. So, what are we doing next class?
Test.
Exam. Yes. And what are we doing a week from today?
Term paper. No, why would we what quiz? Term paper and quiz?
Oh,
it's
just the term paper. I didn't say anything about quiz.
Yeah, that's what I
He
thought.
said that. Not me.
Is the take home for the exam?
What? What did you say?
Thursday's just a term paper.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep going with the lecture. The next Tuesday, we're just gonna do the exam, and then we'll leave.
Oh, that's it? Just the exam?
Yeah, because